All right, let's take you to the story now. So the Standing Committee on Public Accounts says it will launch an inquiry into allegations of maladministration, financial mismanagement and wasteful expenditure at the Road Accident Fund. According to Scopa, the decision comes after it obtained information from the RAF board and executive management. Scopa chairperson Songezo Zibi says that a large volume of complaints against RAF will warrant the committee to thoroughly examine the claims. Meanwhile, Scopa says it will approve the terms of reference on the 1st of July, and the inquiry will take place after Parliament's recess in August. Of course, Scopa chairperson, Mr. Songezo Zibi, joins us just to give us a little bit more details. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Chair. I think this is an interesting step that's been taken by the committee to say, well, this is the route we're going to go, a full committee inquiry into these allegations of maladministration. But perhaps give us and the viewers a little bit of the backstory on why this route and the various attempts by Scopa to get answers that have led you to this point where you thought it is time for a full inquiry.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me on. So one of the biggest difficulties we've had with the Road Accident Fund is that they have not been forthcoming with the level of disclosure, that is the amount and the quality of the information that is given to Parliament, because we rely on the state institutions to give us accurate and full information in order to perform our oversight function. The Road Accident Fund has been evasive. It has withheld information from the committee, and on several instances, it has lied to the committee. And we cannot perform our oversight function if we do not have the quality of the information we need. And that is one of the reasons that we are performing a full inquiry, because we can subpoena information, we can subpoena witnesses, we can place them under oath, and if they lie to the committee, we can then charge them with perjury and they can be sent to prison.
Yeah, very interesting. And then, of course, you've got till July to announce to us the terms of reference. But some of the considerations that you are making as you really start to think about what those terms of reference need to look like, and some ideas on just how long and how you want this to play out. What have you envisioned so far?
So let me talk about the terms of reference. We did discuss those today. So there are issues relating to how the management structure has been constructed and approved by the board. It has several governance failures therein. They've failed to fill critical positions within the Road Accident Fund. For example, there is no chief claims officer. There is no head of claims operations. There is no head of legal. The Road Accident Fund is supposed to process claims and to defend litigation when it occurs. As a consequence of that, it has racked up billions in default judgments. In fact, the SIU is investigating over 4.7 billion rand in default judgments that, had the Road Accident Fund defended, it wouldn't have paid that kind of money. Now, when you don't have a chief claims officer, no head of claims operations, and no head of legal, you can't process the claims. You also cannot defend the matters because nobody heads up the legal department. And on top of that, in a 2-year period, they lost 28 lawyers within the Road Accident Fund, which means the legal department is in disarray. That has cost taxpayers money. And when we ask for this information, they don't give it to us unless whistleblowers provide it to us, forcing us then to send more questions. And we can't keep doing that. An inquiry that covers as many of these issues as possible is going to get us to the answer so that we can perform oversight.
Yeah, and you talk about various posts that have not been filled, but I see that one of the issues that you're looking at as well is the failure to perform adequate background checks on senior management. I mean, that for a structure like RAF must be incredibly important.
It's incredibly important. So they've got something called the Chief Investment Officer. There's only one institution in the South African state that is the Chief Investment Officer, it's the Public Investment Corporation, because they make long-term asset allocations. The Road Accident Fund chose, without background checks, to appoint someone who came from the city of Johannesburg as Chief Investment Officer. He was being disciplined for giving billions of rand to Regiment's capital, which was linked to the Guptas. And when it was time for the hearing to take place, He resigned and went to the Road Accident Fund subsequently. They appointed him without doing the necessary background checks. And when we asked them where the money that he's apparently investing is, they said they couldn't tell the committee. It's shocking that a state entity and its employees believe that they should not tell Parliament where public money is. It's preposterous. And the board chairperson was in the meeting, and some board members were in the meeting, and they didn't even have an inkling to instruct the same person to reveal this information to South Africans. It cannot be accepted. This is why we must place people under oath, force them to make the necessary disclosures, and get accountability on behalf of South Africans.
Yeah. In an ideal world, for yourself anyway, having assessed the accountability that you've been seeking from RAF, and you say just not very forthcoming, I think the question for me would be what you want to see for the future of the board. Do you still hold confidence in RAF's board?
Look, my personal opinions don't matter. What I've said in the committee is that the board is clearly failing in its oversight function. It's important that we conduct the inquiry on the basis of factual evidence. And then at the end of that inquiry, we will reach a conclusion and make recommendations. One of those recommendations may be that we believe the board needs to be removed.
I think about the point that you made around a state entity that doesn't want to account to Parliament, as you put it, on the use of public funds. And I wonder if this is a model that we'll see more and more of in various committees wanting to get this level of accountability and going the route of going, well, let's make it more difficult and go the route of an inquiry. Do you think that's something that we'll be seeing, perhaps a duplication of what Scopa is doing?
In cases where it is necessary, that needs to happen. In most cases, the state entities, notwithstanding the trashing they're going to get from Parliament, they nonetheless share that information with Parliament. And they take it on the chin. Eskom does the same, PRASA has done the same, Transnet has done the same, government departments have done the same. The important thing about our constitutional architecture is that we make candid and honest disclosures to Parliament in good faith. When an entity does not do that, it necessitates that we move from invitations to subpoenas. We move from discussions in Parliament from hearings in Parliament to inquiries. Is the choice that each state entity makes, and I would encourage other committees where they feel that the state entity does not want to cooperate with the processes of Parliament, then you move to an inquiry and we hold people accountable.
Mr. Zibi, we really do appreciate your time. We'll be watching the process as it unfolds very closely as well. Songezo Zibi, the chairperson of Scopa, speaking to us this evening.